My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask you for pardon for my sins and the grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Today, Jesus, we read from the Sermon on the Mount. You remember, chapters 5, 6, and 7 of St. Matthew. Your longest sermon in the Gospels, Jesus, where you taught the tenets of Christian behavior, the Beatitudes, the Lord's Prayer. And today, in chapter 7, you teach, in verse 12, the Golden Rule. Whatever you wish that men do to you, do so to them, for this is the law and the prophets. Then the narrow gate, verse 13, the wrong path. Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction, and those who enter by it are many. And verse 14, the right path, for the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to life, and those who find it are few. Now for some it can sound like a threat. Watch out. Many are taking the wrong path to destruction. But for your friends, Jesus, it is more like a warning. Like a dad saying to his child, careful now, this is slippery. Or hold my hand across the road. The gate is narrow. This is your teaching. And there is no way we can change the width of the gate. And the way is hard, and there is no way we can change it. When we evangelize, when we try to bring people to you, Jesus, sometimes we can fall into the temptation of making it more attractive by trying to widen the gate or turn the path downhill. But the teaching is clear. If they offer you an easy way, it is not the way. If they show you a wide gate, it is not the gate you're looking for. It doesn't help anybody to try to delude people, to persuade them, to entice those looking for happiness and bring them around with deception, promising that following Jesus is not hard, that the gate, well, is not that narrow, that the cross is not heavy, that we can take it with aspirin and ibuprofen. That is misleading, leading people to the wrong gate. I always find it amusing when we adapt challenges to kindergarten level. When on school sports day, you see 4- and 5-year-old children running their marathon. They call it marathon. But because they are little children, their marathon is not 26 miles, but 26 yards. Okay, I understand that it is a game and that the medal is a plastic medal. But the marathon is a race with a very specific distance. If you change the distance, it is not a marathon. Some people say anyone can run a marathon, including one of our American preachers. But there are 2 ways to make everyone run a marathon. The first way, very effective, would be to reduce the distance of the marathon. Run all you can, and we call that marathon. What is a marathon for me may not be a marathon for you. Do you recognize the world's arguments here? And the second way, the proper way, will be to offer people personal training. Do you want to run a marathon? Okay, let's start running 5 minutes every day. We will lose some weight. We will get in good shape, develop the right muscles. We may have to change diet as well, and training plan and go with them for our daily run and motivate them and help them and support them. And in few months, sure enough, they are ready to run the marathon. Jesus, when you told us that the path is hard and the gate is narrow, you didn't give permission to your church to change the width of the gate. But you taught us that we were made for it. We can do it. I don't know if anyone can run a marathon, but every single one can walk the hard path. They can pass through the narrow gates. And with Saint Louis-Marie de Montfort, I would add, this is a statement that I would gladly sign with my blood. So I don't know if you can run a marathon, but you were made for holiness. Imagine this. Imagine that when you were 8 years old, someone came and told you, listen, I am a tennis coach. I have been training athletes for more than 50 years and have devised the algorithm that spots the best athletes in the world. I have studied you and found out that you have more qualities for speed than Usain Bolt, and more heart resistance than Ironman, and a higher pain threshold and more capacity for recovery. You have a better tennis physique than Nadal and Federer when they were your age. There's no doubt you have the most perfect body in history for tennis. Wow. What would you do? Well, depends on whether you like tennis or not. But you could never claim that you weren't a tennis player because you didn't have what it takes. You just didn't make the effort. The gate is narrow and the path is hard. But get this, you were designed by God for that gate and for that path. You are perfect for holiness. You are better matched for holiness than Messi for football and Kobe Bryant for basketball and Nadal for tennis and Phelps for swimming. Put it another way, you have all it takes to be a great saint. Let me repeat that. You have everything you need to be a great saint. There is no excuse. Well, actually there is. That's a problem. There are as many excuses as you want to make up. It is not a problem that the gate is narrow or the path is hard. No more than a net in the middle of the court is a problem for a tennis player. That's the essence of it. And you were made for it. Mary, my Immaculate Mother, guide me along the hard path. It won't be that hard if I walk with you, and if I bring along as many as I can. I'm not sure if anyone can run a marathon, but I know everyone can pass through the narrow gate. I give you thanks, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask you for help to put them into effect. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.